Hey Stampers, welcome to Brandy's Cards. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're having a great day. So as you know, our annual celebration sale is going on right now through March 31st of 2019. So I believe we started, January 3rd? And we're going all the way through March 31st of 2019. So we love this sale. And if you don't already know about it, for every $50 you spend before shipping and tax, you get to pick out a free item from our celebration offering. So it's super cool. Everybody gets excited. I get excited because I like free stuff too. So just really cool. I do want to kind of show you some updated items really quick before we get into our project today, because I'm really excited about our project, and I'm going to show you how to make this really fun box. But hold up there. Let's have a look at the celebration, the new catalog. I should say PDF or brochure. So we had our first launch of celebration, and this right here, this is our second launch of celebration items. And so I'm really excited about this one too. This one has the all adorned stamp set. So I do have it right here, and I'm super excited. I'm going to share a card with you on Brandy's Cards here in a couple of days with this stamp set, because I've done it for my color challenge. And so it's done, it's ready to go. And so I'm excited to share that one with you. I just thought it was a really pretty set. These little shapes here go together really, really well. And of course you can do different colors. So I just thought that was pretty cool. All right, and then the next item is the Country Floral Dynamic Impressions Embossing Folder. This embossing folder is beautiful, and it's one of our dynamic ones. So here I've got a piece of cardstock embossed, and you can see the beautiful deep texture on that. It is just stunning. I absolutely love it, and I know that you will too. And so again, that is free with a $50 purchase before shipping and tax. Okay, so over here, this is the Painted Seasons bundle. It is just, this cardstock is amazing. So here I've got, you actually get 12 sheets, so you get 3 of each design. That's right, you get 3 of each design. So there's 4 designs, and I'm gonna show them to you here. See how beautiful that is? Oh my gosh, it's just such gorgeous paper. And then if you flip it over, maybe you're not into like the floral designs, maybe you like just more of a pattern. These are fun here too, right? And so it all coordinates beautifully. It's just such lovely paper. Now it coordinates with the Painted Seasons stamp set. So you can get this in a bundle, and in order to get a level 2 item, you have to purchase $100 before shipping and tax. And then you can pick out this as your bundled item. All right, so that is our second release of Celebration, and there was a third release, and that third release was just a few days ago. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you that. I have the PDF that I printed off. Stampin' Up! Is going to let you get the Designer Series paper as an item by itself. So that's pretty cool. If you maybe weren't interested in the stamp set, but you are the designer paper, you can get that. You'll see the Share What You Love embellishment kit. That is an option. The Scattered Sequence Dynamic Embossing folder. The mini pizza boxes. Those are super fun. So if you like to make treats, or maybe with Easter coming up, maybe that might be something you're interested in. Now the pearlized doilies, that's ×2. That's right, so you get 2 packages with that if you select that one. And the rich razzleberry 1/4-inch velvet ribbon, you also get 2 spools of ribbon with that. So that's pretty neat, pretty cool. The Petal Promenade Designer Series paper is an option, and the delightfully detailed laser cut specialty paper. So many wonderful things. I was really, really excited, and I love when Stampin' Up! Does this sale, if you will, and rewards customers and demonstrators for purchasing their products. And it's always fun to get something a little bit extra, right? So that's what we all love, celebration. But today, I am going to make a project out of my Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper, because I just absolutely love it. So I have it over here, And I believe you've probably seen me show this to you before. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to kind of spread it out here a little bit and let you have a look. So this is the one side, and there's 6, you get 12 sheets, 2 of each, and they're double-sided. And then we'll flip it over, and then you've got the black and white butterflies. So one thing that I just loved about this paper is how beautifully these butterflies layer. Like, oh my goodness, absolutely amazing. So let me just go ahead and show you. Today we're gonna make, let me see which one we're gonna make here. Actually, I think we're gonna make this one. So I'll go ahead and stick that one right back in there, okay? So this is the beautiful butterfly box that we're gonna make today. And so you'll see you've got the, this big butterfly on top of the box is actually from, let me show you real quick. See, look at all these beautiful butterflies. So that's from this black and white botanical cardstock. And then this butterfly right here is from this one. And then I flipped it over, and then I had all of these fun butterflies here to pick from. And so I decided to go with this one. But of course you could pick any one of these. Maybe you're into Highland Heather, or you like the purples. Maybe you go that direction, or Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight. So there's just lots of options there. So you can pick any of those butterflies you would like, okay? So, but for today, I'm gonna go with this pretty one here. I think it's got balmy blue and maybe a little Daffodil Delight in there. It's just gorgeous. So, but actually now that I say that, I have Granny Apple Green here. So I think we're gonna switch it up a little bit and maybe do a Granny Apple Green one. Just, you know, just for something fun. All right, so what are you gonna need? You're gonna need your designer series paper if you have it. And if you don't have it, that's okay. You can pick out any designer series paper you want, and you could make this fun box. And then of course you can embellish it with, you know, different framelits and different, you know, different, what do I wanna say? The butterfly framelits, maybe Beauty Abound. So there's lots of different things that you can do. But today I'm just gonna use the botanicals, all right? I've got Granny Apple Green ink as well as Mementos black. And I have a basic black cardstock as well as Whisper white cardstock, all right? So if you're new to Brandy's cards and you're, you haven't seen the sizes or the dimensions, that's okay, don't worry. Just go to brandyscards.com. All right, in the search bar, type in there Botanical Butterflies Designer Series Paper. Type in there, in the search box, you could put soap box. Any one of those types of searches for this would come up. All right, so just think about that if you can't find it. Or if all else fails, send me an email and say, hey Brandy, I can't find that tutorial, and I will make sure and send you the link, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I do have my Simply Scored here, and I have my Take Your Pick tool. Now, I love this tool. It looks like I've got it set here on the pointed end. I use this end a lot, not just for piercing, but for picking up like jewels and gems and things. But one thing I like is you can lock it into place and then unlock it, and then you'll see you've got the other side here. But I'm actually gonna put my scoring tip on here, my scoring tool, and then just twist it and lock it into place. Now you will look, if you look inside of our catalog, you will not see this tool because it was launched in our holiday catalog, but it will be in our annual catalog coming up in June of 2019. So, you know, stay tuned for that. You'll see it, but it is available now to you. I've had a couple of questions about that. It is available right now. All right, so it looks like our black cardstock is, it looks like it's 6 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that is the size of our basic black cardstock. I am going to score it at 1 1/4. And then you're gonna go ahead and do a 90-degree turn and score it again at 1 1/4. And then a 90-degree turn. And then you're gonna score it again. And then one last turn and one last score. Perfect. All right, so now we have the bottom of our box scored. So let's go ahead and score the top of our box. So this one, I have this one cut at 4 inches by 5 inches, all right? And so here what I did is I am going to score this one at 5/8 on each side. So I'm scoring it on 5/8, and then you're gonna do a 90-degree turn and score it at 5/8 again, a 90-degree turn, just get it lined up, and then you're gonna score it again, and then one more turn, so all the way around at 5/8. Perfect. All right, so now we're done with our Simply Scored, so I'm gonna set that aside and set my board aside, just like that. Perfect. All right. So here, now you're gonna need some paper snips. So I would say you're gonna wanna prep your score lines. What I mean by that is just kind of fold them, you know, so they're nice and creased. You could use a bone folder to do that as well. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut in on the score line up to the corner. And then what I do is I actually cut a little triangle out. Do you see that? Just take a little bitty triangle out right at the bottom here. So you're gonna cut up the flap, and then over here on the flap, just cut a triangle. And it just really makes it all kind of come together a little bit nicer in case the cut is uneven. So I always tend to kind of take a little bit off just to kind of make sure it lays nice. So we've got one more to cut up here, and then we'll do our triangle. And so while we're doing this process, let's go ahead and prep our lid. So I'm just kind of folding it, right? And look how beautiful it is. So this is the inside of the box since we're doing the polka dots on the outside. So it'll be a nice surprise when somebody opens it up and they see those beautiful butterflies on the inside too. So let's cut up our flaps. We're gonna cut straight up the flap and then a little, you know, triangle, all right? And we're gonna do it on the other side as well. And just kind of keep working your way through. So there's only 4 on each one, so that's okay. Just takes a second. And then you've got your flaps, so that's great. All right, so now I did notice that I don't have my glue out, so give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna reach here right behind me, and I'm gonna grab some glue. Now, I like to use Tombow glue. You can use tear and stick tape if you would like. With these boxes and things, I would probably use a stronger adhesive than a snail, but of course, if that's what you like and that's what you like to use, you can certainly give that a try, okay? So I'm gonna take some Tombow glue or some liquid adhesive and just put it right here on my flap. Now you can do it however you would like, but I personally like to go ahead and put my liquid adhesive on all 4 flaps, all right? And so then if you see here, by doing that, when I fold it up, then I can kind of hold it all in place. So I'm gonna fold it up and kind of get this guy over here in place the best that I can. Just sort of wiggle it into place. That's another reason why I love the Tombow glue, is it sort of gives me a minute to like wiggle it into place. So when I have tear and stick tape and that sort of thing, when you stick it down, it's stuck. But Tombow glue gives you just a bit of wiggle room. So I like that. I like that a lot, actually. So here we go. Our box is coming together beautifully. We already have the bottom. Love that. Okay, so there you have it. We have the bottom. Here's the top. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna fold my flaps. I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did before. And it looks like I may have missed cutting one of my flaps. So let's do that real quick. Perfect. Now we're gonna fold these flaps up and put a little bit of liquid adhesive on each little flap. And again, you might find that doing one side at a time works best for you, and that's totally okay. I just personally like to kind of do them at the same time, but it is okay. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And so you're gonna just fold it up, just like that. And it comes together beautifully. It really does. And so you're just gonna have to give them a little squeeze so they stay into place. And then I'm gonna work on the other side. And just like I said, lining them up, and that's again why I love the, because you can see I'm sort of wiggling it into place, and that is one of the perks with a liquid adhesive, is the fact that you can kind of wiggle it into place. And you have a little bit of time, not a lot of time, but a wee bit of time. All right, so the top of our box now is done, and super cool, fits beautifully, and there it is. Awesome. So we have the top of our box and we have the bottom. So that is pretty cool. Now the rest of it's a lot of fun to put together, because now you can get creative with the top and the butterflies and all of that good stuff, right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my box here. Well, no, actually, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and show you the inside of that here in just a minute. Before we do that, let's go ahead and move on. I get so excited that I get ahead of myself. You guys know, you guys are at home laughing at me. You guys know how much fun it is, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to show them. So anyway, I'll show you the inside here momentarily. So I have a Granny Apple Green strip. This strip is 1 inch and it's by 8.5 inches. And so I did not bother to score this. You certainly could, but I found it was just as easy just to kind of fold it down like this over each side. It was super easy. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of liquid adhesive right here on the end and go ahead and put my belly band down. And you might just need to hold it for a second. It doesn't take much. Just got to kind of let that get stuck or in adhere, okay? Now what I have is I have a piece of basic black, a rectangle, and then a piece of whisper white. Now what I did is I actually wanted it to look textured. So I wrinkled it and I wrinkled it and I wrinkled it some more. And you know, one way that this works really good to break down the fibers is if you have a crimper. But I don't actually have a crimper. I don't have one anymore. I used to have one, but I think when I moved, it either made it, I don't know, but I haven't been able to find it. So anyway, I am going to do it the old-fashioned way, and I'm crinkling my cardstock all up. Now by doing that, then what you can do is you go into the corner and you can start to pull these paper fibers apart, which I think is super, super cool. And then you just got to be careful, you know, and if you get a tear or it doesn't work perfectly, I kind of like that. I don't want it to actually, I don't really want it to be perfect. I like the different textures and layers. So the idea is just to pull it apart the best that you can. And so this one's coming apart pretty well. And so let's say you only get halfway. Well, then you can start at a different corner if you want, or you could leave it that way. I mean, it just makes it more interesting, right? So I just think that's pretty cool. So I'll just go ahead and try this corner real quick and see what we get. And then we'll just move on. And we will go ahead and I'll show you how I glue this down and then how I added my butterflies. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna move on. I don't mind that at all. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna glue this guy down, put a little bit of liquid adhesive behind your whisper white rectangle, and we're gonna add it right here on top of the basic black cardstock. And you know, the other fun thing is I didn't really want it to be flat. So I just sort of randomly put my adhesive. I kind of liked it bubbly and lifted a little bit. Just again, I'm really sort of playing on the wrinkle and the texture, and you can see the softness from where I broke down the paper fibers. So I just think that's really, really fun. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and glue this down, and this is gonna glue right here on top of your belly band. So you can really put, you know, the adhesive right on top of the belly band. And then we're gonna add our basic black rectangle right on the top. Perfect. All right, our box is coming along. Now what I did is I actually went to my designer series paper, and as I showed you earlier, I cut out this big butterfly, and you'll notice that I actually cut off his head. I know, you guys are like, oh my gosh, she cut off his head. Well, I did that on purpose. because I knew that I would have these little antennas. And so I cut out this butterfly as well, and see how I layered it right on top of there. And so he's got his antennas, so it just kind of worked versus lots more antennas, if you will. So I've got my mini glue dots. I'm gonna just put a couple under my black, my small, my black and white butterfly, and I'm just gonna stick it right here on the top. And then this butterfly, I actually cut out, and I cut off his head and the bottom of him. Can you see that? And that was again from the Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper. And I'm gonna add a mini glue dot behind this one as well. And I'm just gonna stick it right here on the top. And so I did that because I didn't want it to look like he had several bodies. If you know, so that's why I did that. I wanted it to kind of look like he was one butterfly. Now we're gonna really make him fun with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I think this is where it gets really neat, when you can kind of make him look like he's coming to life or flying off the box. So what I did is I took my Stampin' Dimensionals and I just cut them in half. I cut a couple of them in half, depending on how many you want to put down as to how many you probably want to cut. I just put one right here underneath the wing and pushed it down. And then I'm going to put another one under this wing and push it down as well. Do you see how nice and layered and beautiful that looks? Oh, so pretty, so pretty. So then we're going to come to the other side and do the exact same thing. We're putting our butterfly under the wing. I should say our Stampin' Dimensional under the wing. And here's another one. And we're gonna take the little back off of that one. Come on, okay. And we're gonna stick that one down. Perfect. Oh, so pretty. That was so easy, right? And so, I encourage you to think about, when you're looking at your designer series paper, how, you can use it in different ways. This one had these beautiful butterflies and images already in it. So what a great, opportunity to cut them out and layer them. So over here, I've got some metallic pearls. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my Take Your Pick tool and just twist it and pull that guy off. I'm gonna put on the other one, the little poker tool or pierce tool. And we're gonna get right underneath my pearl. And I'm gonna use that to add it right here on top of my butterfly. So, you could put it on his head. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just put it right on his head there? And so we've got the pearl. Oh, that looks so pretty. I just love it. Now you could put the pearl in the middle of your butterfly too, whatever you like. There's no right or wrong. Okay, so now I have my butterfly, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're gonna add him to the top of our box. So you can do it a couple of ways. You could do it with mini glue dots. You could do it with liquid adhesive. I'm just gonna put a few Stampin' Dimensionals, 2 or 3, maybe 4. And a lot of times I like to put the mini glue dots here in the center, so it kind of holds it flat, and then your Stampin' Dimensionals pop it up. So I think that's what we should do for sure. So that'll be neat. So we got to take the backs off of our Stampin' Dimensionals. That is the next thing we need to do. So that way we can stick these guys down. And there we go. So I'm going to stick my butterfly down in the center, because I want it to kind of be I want it to be stuck in the center, and then I want the dimensionals to kind of pop it up on the edges, just like that. Perfect. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love it. So now what I think we're going to do is I'm going to show you the inside of the box in a fun way to decorate it, okay? So what I ended up doing is I purchased some fun soap. We have a Whole Foods here, and I love, oh my gosh, I love their soaps. And so this one is sea salt and kelp, I think. It just smells so heavenly. And I love to give the soap as a gift. So it's just a really, really nice, fun gift to give, and everybody really, likes the soap. So here is the yellow one. If you slide down, if you slide your belly band off, you've got that. And then if you open it up, yay! What do you guys think? Look at that. How cool is that? So if you have a look here, I actually stamped my butterflies to coordinate with my butterfly. So here you see I stamped the tissue paper, and then I added my little butterflies. Pretty cool. Now to take it a step further, I actually cut a piece of the top of my Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper that coordinates with the top of the box, and I just stuck it inside of there, just so that it was kind of a nice presentation with my soap. And then of course my soap is in there, and then I add my lid and my little belly bands. Just let me show you here. Sometimes I find it easier if you just set it down. Perfect. Now I did stamp a Just For You, and if you're interested in doing that, I did that out of the Vibrant Vases stamp set. You can see it right here, Just For You. Now you certainly don't have to use that stamp set. You might have one that might work better. I have it mounted here. I've got mementos. So I'm just gonna stamp Just For You. And then I'll show you, I just cut it out with snips, hand cut it out, just sort of rounded it a little bit. You know, nothing too difficult, just like that. And just corner left, I'm gonna round a little bit here on the end, but you gotta leave a little bit extra so that you can punch a hole in it. All right, so I have my hole punch, and just pop in a hole in it right there. Now I've got some white baker's twine, which you guys know that I love to use the baker's twine. It's one of my favorites to use. I feel like it ties beautiful bows. So that's why I really, really like it. So I'm gonna just add it here to the right side of my box. And then of course you've got, you know, your Just For You that will dangle down with your bow. So it just makes such a nice little presentation. I actually took these to Salt Lake City when I went. I went out to Salt Lake City, and I wanted to take Sarah and Shelly and several of, you know, the folks that help me all the time with my business, and I just wanted to thank them. So I took them one of these boxes, and I picked out some fun soap for each person, and it was just so much fun to give them away. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish tying my bow here. Looks like it's giving me a hard time. So now that I have it on here, I'm just gonna put it back on the box and then tie the bow, because it's giving me fits. Okay, so here we go. So now it's back on the box, and it's gonna be a bit more sturdy to tie my bow. Just like that. So that will work much nicer. And then of course, you know, I've got a pretty long piece of twine here. So, you know, you can always just cut it and trim it a little bit, unless of course you like it longer. But I'm gonna go ahead and just trim it just a wee bit. I like it long, but I also like it tidied up a little bit. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I have some tissue paper, and what I liked is, you know, I liked when you stamp a piece of the tissue paper, sometimes the ink actually goes through the tissue paper. So you want to protect your space, most importantly, but I also didn't want it to get onto the soap. So I did cut another piece of tissue paper that is designated to be what the soap is wrapped in, okay? And so what we're gonna do now is I have Beauty Abounds, I believe, yep, the Beauty Abound stamp set. We're gonna use this butterfly and that butterfly. So I'm gonna grab this guy, and he is going to be stamped in Memento Black. And so I'm just gonna randomly stamp this butterfly in Memento Black. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp the other butterfly in our Granny Apple Green, okay? So here we go. We're just kind of adding a few butterflies randomly around, just random. And I think, let's see, maybe one more? Sure, why not? There we go, perfect. And then I have my little Granny Apple Green butterfly, and I'm gonna stamp him. Just, isn't he pretty? Oh my goodness, so pretty. And of course, I am just sort of randomly stamping this guy. He doesn't need, doesn't need to be perfect by any stretch. It's just the idea that when you open it up, it's going to coordinate beautifully. That's what I loved about it. Now you could even, I can even see taking, like, to coordinate even more, taking a balmy blue and maybe a marker and putting some dots in here. With your marker, just some random dots. And it would really kind of pop more color. So that's an idea too. Okay, so I think this is pretty good. So I'm going to move that back out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is take your tissue paper. We want to flip it over, right? Because we want the pretty side. And then I'm going to take my extra piece to protect my soap. Now you can use tape if you would like. I think on the last one I did, but then on some of the others I didn't. So it's entirely up to you. The idea is if you wrap it and then you put it in the box, it's going to stay nice anyway. So just kind of fold in your tissue paper on each side. And again, you could certainly tape it, but you don't necessarily have to. But if you want it nice and tidy, then I would recommend that. We're going to open our box. Now I did not cut the little inside piece today. I didn't have an extra piece and I wanted to show you how beautiful the cardstock was. But before I give this away, I think I will do that because it does make a nice presentation. So now you see we've got our tissue paper stamped. It matches beautifully. I do have a couple extra butterflies here. So I would say let's go ahead and stick them right to the top because it's so pretty. So I have got, let's see, where's my mini glue dots? There they are. Now I don't think in here you probably need to put Stampin' Dimensionals, but you certainly can. If you want them in there, then absolutely you should put them in there. But you don't necessarily have to put them in there. So we're putting our butterfly down, and then I'm gonna add my other butterfly right here on top. Just like, oh, my mini glue dot. Let's try another one here. There we go. Just gotta get our mini glue dot to kind of work with me. And I'm gonna put it right there. And then, yes, we have to put a pearlized metallic pearl, right? I mean, you can't not put a pearl on there. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get my tool and put it right there. And so let's put our gem this time in the middle. I think we should go ahead and do it like that. That looks pretty. Okay, so we are all done. So this is my fun little soap box. And so I did do one of these soap boxes earlier. Well, maybe it was like a year ago or so. And so I'm gonna show it to you, but the stamp set is retired. But again, it's more about the idea and the inspiration, right? So that you can try to recreate it. So look at that butterfly. Oh my gosh, I just love this box. This is the one that I made earlier. And you know, I don't think the tissue paper on this one is stamped. It was originally, but I give these away as gifts. And so I'm not sure if this one is or not. Nope, there's no tissue paper in this one. But look at here. I actually stamped the bottom of the box. I used a Whisper White. See, Whisper White. This is the flower right here. And I stamped the bottom of the box all around. So I sort of made my own designer paper. And then I remember I stamped the tissue paper and wrapped my soap in it. And then of course you have your lid, and then I stamped a design on the lid, which was kind of fun. And then you've got your belly band that goes across the top. And we'll just put that back on there, scoot it right down. Perfect. So that's kind of fun. So I was just excited to show you that as well. And again, this stamp set is retired. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of it, but if you're interested, I can let you know, but I don't have one available. So I do apologize for that. But right now, the butterflies are available. So let me show you all of the different colors here that I played with. So here I added a small butterfly, and that one is the Balmy Blue. Here is Calypso Coral. This one is a small Granny Apple Green little butterfly. And then this one is the yellow. And then of course the one that I did prior. So there you go. These are my fun soap boxes. I hope that you guys give them a try. They're so much fun to make. And with Mother's Day coming up, May Day is coming up, Easter is coming up. So they might be a fun gift to give a host or somebody hosting a party or a friend or a family member that might be there. So just, have a look at that and maybe give those a try. I will have a PDF download coming for you as well. So you can visit Brandy's Cards and you can download the PDF so you have the sizes and the dimensions right in front of you on your craft table and for your ideas book, okay? So watch for that too. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you don't already have a demonstrator, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to send you catalogs. Love the opportunity to earn your business and answer any questions that you have. Once you get started stamping and crafting and doing Stampin' Up, you're gonna love it, right? So thank you everybody for stopping by, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye now.